What's up guys? Today we're going to take a look at a game called Anima, the Reign of Darkness. So this is a first look at the game itself. I've played it a little bit, maybe a couple hours. And if you like Diablo, you're in for a treat. It is definitely up the pathway of Diablo. So this is sort of the main town area of it, I guess is sort of the hub. I think it was called Sanctuary in one of the places within Diablo, but basically it's very similar. So you've got your merchants. Here's Olaf. You can trade things. You can see I've got things I've picked up off different kills, and they're in my bag on the right hand side. The central portion of the screen there is my loadout, and then on the left is his vendor stuff, the stuff you can buy, right? So I can identify all. I can see if I've got anything worth it, worth upgrading, and you can see in this screen here, it'll show you on the bottom. You can show your damage change, your endurance change, and your regen change, and it'll do that with everything. So you can kind of see if you're getting a decent upgrade or not. With rings, it'll actually show two tiers. It'll show a top and a bottom. Do I have any rings in here? I don't have any rings. I have an amulet. But anyways, rings will actually break them apart into two separate screens, so you can kind of pick and choose what's going to work for you there. In this case, this stuff's not that great, so I'm going to head and sell all. And we got some empty bags. We can go collect some more loot. So with that, they've got a stash. Again, this is very similar to Diablo 3 in a lot of ways. It's honestly a really it's almost like a little grittier version of it. So you can see I have some stuff in my stash there. Cruise over here, and we've got a little tent here. And if I looked at the mini map, we'd be going a little quicker here. So then over on this side, we've got sort of a gambling area again. If you've played Diablo 3, you could go in here, you could spend your coins and grab stuff. Let's see, why can't, oh, there's the button on the bottom. So basically you can gamble. So you pick the part you want to gamble for and you get random stuff. So here's a ring. And as I said, you can actually see on the top and bottom there, the various stats and if it's going to be worth it. So I've not been using that a lot lately just because I want to save up some gold and see what else I'll need it for. We have a trade here where these are kind of like little mini boxes. They're filled with things. I'm not too familiar with that currency yet and how you collect that, but they usually have a couple really nice little items in it. This is going to be your waypoint, so once you go actually into a dungeon, which we'll do here in a minute, this is sort of the central part of the town where you can jump back and forth between a dungeon, come back, repair your gear, sell stuff, that kind of thing. Here's Larkos. So they do have gems in this game, so again, socketing items just like in Diablo 3 and the other Diablos. So this is where you would do that at. I've just gotten to the area now where you actually start to get gems, so that's new. And then if we cruise over here, we'll go out of town. On the top bar here, on the top middle, they've got an entire area of achievements, just a ton of them. For a new game, this is pretty cool. You definitely put a lot of thought into it. So two different tabs with just lots of little mini tabs here. To collect the middle button on the top there with the chest, this is their sort of store. I did buy the Gift of Demons, which gives you some more bag space, as you can see. It gives you some specific gear which sort of levels with you, kind of like WoW artifacts, or I forget what they're called, but in WoW basically they would level with you and scale up. And then they have an item store here where you can get various keys. They've got this store, and then they've also got one for cosmetics, so you get these little wings. So pretty cool, and nothing in there is very expensive, you know, a couple bucks at most, but pretty cool. So on the bottom bar here, on the left-hand side, we've got our abilities, and these are sort of like your talents in other games. I've been kind of focused on the middle ability. I'm playing kind of a sorcerer. The middle button on the bottom gives you, again, your bag and your gear loadout, and then your quest log. So this is basically telling you where you need to go. So most everything takes off, at least this far in the game. It takes off from this central hub here. You come over to this area, and so you can jump in here, which will take you to the very first floor of the actual dungeons, or you can come over here and you can jump to any one of the dungeons you've already visited. So you can see I'm about 9 dungeons deep or so. So let's just jump in the middle of the basement just to show you how the game plays, give you an idea what it looks like. The game's super smooth, buttery, it looks great, it seems to perform really well. I don't know why we're taking so long to load. Here we go. I said that, of course, it's going to take a few seconds to load. So you come into the dungeon, and again, very Diablo-esque. I've got kind of a Frost Nova thing here. I've got this thing that shoots bullets and kind of focuses on various people in the dungeon. You come over here, you can open things. It does auto pickup, and you can actually set filters on that over where is the filters at? Over here under your gear icon on your mini map on the right, you can tap that and you can say, okay, I don't want to pick up common items anymore. I just want my magic items, my rare, and my legendaries. You can limit frame rate. You can also do contact sport favors, things like that, music. I've not played with the bloom quality. Let's play with that, see what happens. My phone hopefully can handle it. So basically, it's a dungeon runner at this point. You go through, you kill stuff, you blow things up. They do have like little boss fights, so their first boss was actually pretty decent. It took me a couple minutes to take him down. I admittedly lost one battle after I came back to him the second time. I had taken a break, and then when I came back, he had the better of me. So I've already done the dungeons in this floor, so I don't think there'll be any specific enemies. You can see I leveled up. They do have they do have this method of adding points. So again, back to Diablo, the original Diablo series, right? You can pick and choose where you want to throw points onto your character to make them stronger in whatever category you're interested in. Um, the game itself, though, is really, really smooth. I just kind of ran across it looking through the store one day. A big Diablo fan, so I was looking for something maybe to tide me over. It may have been when I was actually registering for the new Diablo game for mobile. I don't know. But I came across this and I started playing with it. I was like, wow, this is actually a really, really solid game as far as how it's put together. I think the one thing I'd like to see a little bit more of, like when you do this kind of stuff, like it's hard. It would be nice, I guess, in my mind, to be able to kind of fire spells and then still keep running. It's kind of janky how that works. I didn't see a way where you can actually set more than 3 spells at a time. I may have missed it, but if you go into your talent tree here, you could say like I've got this spell where I can teleport. So if I get rid of my magic missile thing there, now I can teleport, but now I've lost that skill. And I get that that's kind of like, well, you gotta pick what's best for your character. It's a 3 spell build, but again, like it would be kind of cool to maybe have a toggle. I thought maybe you could swipe these or something like that, but no, it doesn't seem to let you as a player do that, at least not yet. So I'll drag that spell back on. I do find that useful. So that may limit your, what you pick in your talent tree as you level up your character and kind of do different things. If you know you're not going to use a spell or you're just not going to level it up, then what's the point? Other than that, the game, as I said, it's completely free to play. I mean, the stuff I bought was just more to help. I didn't really need the space inside of my stash. I just thought it would be kind of, I enjoyed the game. I thought I'd do a few bucks to the devs. I'd much rather give a smaller dev like this a few bucks than maybe kind of a big EA-based company. They want $29.95 to log in. Whereas this game, for a buck you can get some cool wings. So I think that's kind of well worth the time and giving back to the developers themselves. So as you play here, as you can see, I'm gonna keep running to this dungeon. We'll kill a few more guys. They don't have like big mob. At least I haven't seen big clumps of mods. At least not like in Diablo, where you'll run into a room and a mob of 50 things will come after you. They do have like elite type mobs, the blue mobs, if you will, in Diablo, and they'll have different traits. There's one that has like a big bubble that goes over you. Or I'm sorry, over the mob, and you have to get inside the bubble to actually attack them. It's kind of cool. They've had magic resist mobs, just various things like that. So they do have that concept, which is kind of cool. They're just not as there's some actually. Here we go. So you can see they're here, and it's kind of hard to see what their traits are until you kind of get to the boss one. He is a fast teleport. So there you go. Like you kind of have to get to the main guy, and he was kind of weak. And again, I've been through this floor. I suspect I'm a little over leveled for this particular area at this point. But they generally drop pretty good stuff. One other thing to note is you don't actually have to go back to town to identify anything. So, like I saw, I got this weapon. I can identify that now. This is a two-hand weapon, so I'm currently using a one-hand item. Um, so that's a kind of a nice touch. You don't need tickets or scrolls or any kind of consumable to actually do it, which is again a nice touch. They kind of have the mechanic, but they don't make you kind of jump through hoops. I'd say it's like a really, really streamlined version of of a hack and slash type game where they really don't want you to have to do a bunch of managing inventory and chasing things around to make the game kind of pleasurable to play. So let's take a look at the last few settings here. They do have a mailbox. I'm not sure what this is. I'm assuming this is just for dev stuff and things like that. Here's some stuff I purchased. So yeah, so it looks like these are the items that I purchased through the packet. So you basically you can't sell them, but I guess that's for some reason they got taken away, or they may also show up if you create other characters. So you can actually create one character to start, but if you want more slots, the package I bought for, I think it was like 5.99 or 3.99, something really cheap, lets you open up those other slots. And I'm assuming these items would show up in the mailbox in the same way. And the final button there on the left of the map is the screen home, the teleport home rather. So there we go, we're back home. So now we can come back over to this guy over here. He's our repair dude. What's up, Hedwig? Let's repair all my stuff. All right, I'll tell you what it costs. The close button is on the top left of dialogues. That was one thing that kind of confused me at first. So where it says blacksmith, it's a little hard to see, but that's an X. Once you see it, you kind of can't not see it. But the first time I was looking for it, I was trying to like hit the back button, things like that. So yeah, top left button, that's a kind of a quirky UI element there. Here's our boy Olaf. Let's identify all my stuff just in case. Yeah, it's a little bit better, not tremendously better. That ring, it might be a little bit better for regen. So it looks like the left ring. I just drag this over to my left ring. Boom, just like that. And it's equipped. They do have an info thing on most screens where they'll tell you a little bit about each individual part of the UI, which is kind of a nice touch. I would like to have that in the close button, but hey, beggars can't be choosers, right? And I think that's everything in the game itself. One other thing to note, if you tap your mini map, it will overlay it. So again, very Diablo-esque, if you will, or you can put your map over top of your character. This works in dungeons as well. So if we teleport back to our dungeon, right back out. There we go, we're back in our basement. It doesn't save the settings, so you're gonna have to go back and put it on. These guys look like they respawned. Let's blow them up a little bit, run around some circles, generate some more mana, throw some bullets. And there we go, some more stuff. So again, there it is. Anima is the name of the game. I will put links in the description down below. It's a fun little game. Like I said, I've been playing for maybe 2-3 hours so far. You can see I still got quite a few dungeons left to complete. I'm sure there'll be more missions and surprises as we go. Again, this is just a first look, but I wanted to put it out there for you guys to take a look at because I think it's a really fun game, well worth your time. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the little subscribe button, hit the little thumbsy uppy button, and we'll see you for the next video. Thanks.